Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the latest regarding Vanderson. Then we're going to move on to who's going to be available for the match against Osasuna. We do have some good updates regarding Cubarsí and Inigo Martínez. We're also going to be talking about Szczęsny and his contract renewal. And then lastly, speak about Lamine Yamal's performance against the Netherlands. There's plenty to discuss for today's video. I hope you guys do enjoy it. And so let's get straight to it. So in my last video, we did speak about how Deco wants to bring in Vanderson. He believes that in order for us to reinforce the right back position, Vanderson is the player Barcelona should be going for. And the only thing that we have been missing was, would Hansi Flick approve this potential signing? And so we do have some other sources claiming that came out a couple of hours ago that Hansi Flick did approve the potential signing of Vanderson. And it does make a lot of sense to know that Hansi Flick and Deco does want this player. A couple of months ago when Barcelona had to face Monaco, where we did lose by the way, Vanderson was actually the player that dropped 2 assists against FC Barcelona. He also created the most chances, which was a total of 3. And here is going to be the stats that he had against FC Barcelona on that night that made Hansi Flick and Deco interested in this operation. He had 62 touches, 6 passes into the final third, 4 out of 9 accurate to long balls, and he was dispossessed 0 times. In defense, 1 out of 1 tackles were won, 3 clearances, 2 headed clearances, 2 interceptions, and 6 recoveries. So these are really good numbers for a player who is very young and joined Europe about 2 years ago. Vanderson is only going to continue to grow from here, and he has showed that he can come up in big Champions League nights. So now let's move on towards the big news of today. Javi Miguel has reported that Cubarsí and Inigo Martínez are both ready and expected for the match against Osasuna. It has been said that Hansi Flick believes Inigo Martínez is ready because he did have a right knee injury, but after Flick has seen him play during the training sessions, his meniscus is fully recovered. So we should expect him to start against Osasuna on Thursday later this week. We'll be talking about exactly who I believe is going to be in this starting 11 after witnessing a match where Spain had to face Netherlands for a total of 125 minutes. In regards to the other youngsters, Gerard Martín, Pablo Torre, and Fermín López are all training with the team today. They were called up after knowing that Barcelona had to play on Thursday, March 27th. Hansi Flick needed more players during the training sessions for today. Gerard Martín, Pablo Torre, and Fermín López were on international duty, but Hansi Flick said, no, this is too much. I need to have some players ready just in case. Because keep in mind, we're not going to be seeing Ronald Araujo and Rafinha play on Thursday's match because Araujo and Rafinha do play tomorrow on a Tuesday. You really think that Araujo and Rafinha, after playing their international matches, are going to be playing 24 to 48 hours later? No way. And I do see Rafinha very destined to play the full 90 minutes against Argentina. It's a very important game. He even had an interview yesterday and he was talking about how he is so ready to defeat Argentina. He does not care about them. He believes that he can have a very big performance against the World Cup winners. He even said, que se jodan. Like, this guy's mentality is something else. And we also do have Araujo, who is going to be facing Bolivia. Uruguay is going to be needing the center back, and the coach made it very clear. And so because of this, right, knowing this, what is going to be our most possible 11? This is going to be a very early prediction because we still have about 4 days until that day. And I do think that Szczęsny is going to be in goal, with our backline being, hear me out, Hector Fort on the right back position, Cubarsí, Inigo Martínez, and Balde at the back. I know that it does seem very iffy for me to say that Hector Fort should be starting on the right back position. But here's the thing, Jules Koundé just played 120 minutes. I don't understand how Koundé is going to be able to play another match on Thursday. Now, with me saying Hector Fort is going to be in the starting 11, do I believe that there's a 100% chance that this will happen? No, I do think that it is a 50-50 chance. I would not be surprised if we see that Jules Koundé starts against Osasuna because this game is just so important. But if the possibility is there and Jules Koundé does seem a little fatigued, Hector Fort should be starting there. As for the double pivot position, it's going to be Eric Garcia and Pedri for sure. And I say that because I would put Frankie next to Pedri, but because we're not going to be having a ideal number 10 against Osasuna, because Olmo is going to be shifting to the left because of Rafinha's absence, Eric Garcia and Pedri makes the most sense. And Frankie has played as a number 10 before, and he does play in that position very well. So I do expect Frankie between Olmo and Lamine Yamal, with Ferran Torres up top as the striker. So we're going to be having some rest for some players like Lewandowski and Jules Koundé. Speaking about the starting 11, I also want to go back to Szczęsny because it says here, according to Adria Albets, that Szczęsny has decided to renew his contract and talks are ongoing for a 1+1 deal, meaning that after this season is over, he's going to be able to stay with us for another season, which will be the 2025-2026 season. If he ends up outperforming yet again, then he can be with us for a third season, which will be the 2026-2027 season. And I believe that Szczęsny does deserve it because of his amazing performances, and especially against Benfica. I would literally tell you guys right now that Szczęsny is going to be giving Ter Stegen a run for his money. So now let's move on towards the last conversation. So it is official. Spain Spain versus France and Germany versus Portugal later this summer for the Nations League semifinal. Very interesting matchups because we're going to be seeing a repeat of Spain versus France from last year where Spain did win and Lamine Yamal scored that golazo from outside the box. It's going to be very, very fun. So Spain were able to defeat Netherlands through penalties, which ended 5-4. Lamine Yamal started the match and played the entire match, so a full 120 minutes. He scored the third goal for Spain, by the way, with the 19-year-old Dean Huijsen assisting Lamine Yamal. And because of this goal, Lamine Yamal becomes the youngest player to score in the Nations League knockout rounds. Keep in mind that the Nations League tournament is very young, so who knows? This record could be broken in about 2 years or 3 years. But as of now, Lamine Yamal is now the youngest player to score in this tournament. And so now, officially, right, Lamine Yamal is the youngest debut player for the Spanish national team, the youngest goal scorer for the Spanish national team, the youngest goal scorer for La Liga history, the youngest goal scorer for the European Championship, and he just continues to break more records. To put this into even a better perspective, in terms of international goal involvements, Vinicius has a total of 11 goal involvements with the national team, and Lamine Yamal has a total of 12. Lamine Yamal has 19 fewer appearances compared to Vinicius. It's insane. And then when we compare Lamine Yamal to Foden, Lamine Yamal for Spain so far has 4 goals and 8 assists. Foden for England has 4 goals and 8 assists. Yet again, Lamine Yamal has 26 matches fewer than Foden. So congratulations to Lamine Yamal for representing the Spanish national team yet again. You can just tell that every time he does put on that shirt, he wears it with pride. He always shows up for the national team, just like how he did in the Euros. So we also had Dani Olmo, who started the match, played 84 minutes. Pedri came off the bench in the 84th minute and finished the match and scored the winning penalty for Spain. And then we do have Ferran Torres, who came off the bench on the 69th minute and finished the match. He also did score the second penalty for Spain. And this is the reason why I did place Dani Olmo, Pedri, and Ferran Torres in the 11. Yes, I know that they played a lot of minutes because it was stretched up until the 120th minute, but Dani Olmo did seem very fresh. Pedri also seemed very fresh. Ferran Torres was okay. Lamine Yamal is also still very young. At 17, I think that he can recover for the next 4 days, starting today, and be ready for the match against Osasuna. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.